Storm chances quite yet. I'm timing out the threat for more rain in our next 2 weather impact days coming up. You dropped about 2 to 3 inches of rain for some areas throughout southeastern Indiana this morning. Thankfully, avoided any of that flash flooding earlier on this morning, but man, it really came down heavy, even if you weren't in southeastern Indiana. Things have quieted down so far this afternoon, but as we head throughout the overnight into tomorrow morning, I am looking at another chance to see yet again more downpours rolling through. Right now, keeping an eye on this line of storms that's moving throughout Illinois. So what I think is going to happen as we head into the overnight tonight, we see that moving into the region, and then there's potential for some additional development back out behind it as well. That brings us the chance of seeing some rainfall tomorrow morning during your commute into work for your Thursday. Gets really hot and humid again tomorrow afternoon, and then by Friday morning, still looking at some more rain. The only difference with Friday morning's rain chance is behind that, finally we scrub out this humidity, at least for about 24 to 36 hours. So as we go through your Thursday morning, I want to show you a sneak peek of what this looks like on radar, or could look like on radar. Once we get into the morning time frame tomorrow, early morning, there will be that line of storms kind of falling apart as it rolls into the greater Cincinnati area. Still brings us, though, the chance of some showers and possibly even some rumbles of thunder for your drive into work tomorrow. So I'll time that out, plus how hot and humid it gets tomorrow, and then when we see that next round of rain moving in on Friday coming up. Ashley, force for the next 2 days, so will the weather impact. We have the chance to see some more thunderstorms as we go through the rest of the work week, but there is some relief on the way, both in that rain department and in the humidity department. I'll show you the timeline of it all coming up in a few minutes. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back. We get some relief, so there is some good news in that department, but the next 24 hours still going to be really hot and humid outside as well. So right now, all across greater Cincinnati, we are looking at fairly dry conditions. I do think for the most part this evening is going to be a little bit more quiet for us, but tonight into tomorrow morning, we very well could see a few more showers or thunderstorms moving into the area. So that's all going to come from what's developing back out west, and possibly not necessarily this line of thunderstorms for us by tomorrow morning, but looks like there could be some additional development that starts to roll through just in time for your drive into work tomorrow. But man, it's hot and it's humid outside too. So with the humidity in factor or in play here, it feels more like 97 degrees outside in Cincinnati. Some spots feeling like closer to the triple digits, and it's just incredibly warm out there with our air temperature now sitting at 88 degrees, and some spots trying to reach into the lower 90s. In fact, some areas over by Independence sitting at 90 in Falmouth now. We have 90 degrees in Brooksville as well. So a lot of our Kentucky spots this afternoon have made it up to that 90-degree marker. First day of the season that we've started to see some of those reports of the upper 90s kind of working their way in. And throughout tomorrow, I think it's going to be just as hot, just as humid tomorrow afternoon. High temperatures reaching into the upper 80s, close to 90 yet again. But that's going to also come with some rain. So starting off in the morning, some showers, possibly rumble of thunder will be around. That's going to be early morning, likely pre-dawn, and then through kind of that 7 or 8 o'clock hour. We'll see a break throughout the middle of the day. Because it's so hot and humid outside, there could be a few more afternoon thunderstorms developing tomorrow. By Friday, what we're looking at is finally an actual cold front moving through here. And I say finally because this is what we need to scrub our atmosphere of all that heat and humidity. So that's going to roll through here Friday morning, brings us another round of some rain, possibly some thunderstorms, wrapping up though by the afternoon. And it looks pretty nice for the afternoon and evening on Friday. Humidity is going to start to drop. Looks good out there on Saturday too. But as we head into the end of the weekend, it actually looks like we could see some rain around here on Sunday. So for this evening, mostly dry. Of course, with it being so hot and humid, we could see an isolated shower or thunderstorm popping up across the area. But right now, that doesn't look to be a widespread issue. Heading into the overnight, here's that potential for some rainfall tomorrow morning. What's going to also come with that is some cloud cover too. So even if this rain happens to fall apart for areas, especially east of I-71, you'll still see that cloud cover in the morning first thing. Then throughout the rest of the day, pretty quiet outside until we get into the afternoon. I do think, even though Futurecast isn't really hinting at it at this point, we could still see a few isolated showers or thunderstorms developing tomorrow afternoon as well. Heading into Friday, that chance of rain, it's actually looking pretty high as we head into Friday morning, but the second half of the day, everything starts to improve, and from there, we'll see some actually pretty nice weather on Friday afternoon with temperatures topping out around 83. Keep in mind, we'll see that clearing throughout the afternoon as well. So even though we've got the rain icon on there, once we get to Friday afternoon, Friday evening, improvement definitely on the way. Saturday still looking to be a nice day as well. That chance of rain Sunday, but there's going to be some development that could move through here tonight into tomorrow morning. That brings us our next weather impact day. As Ashley mentioned, though, we had all that rainfall earlier this morning, especially southeastern Indiana. You picked up anywhere from about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall out there. We still got a decent amount of rain throughout the metro, closer to, it was under an inch of rainfall, but it came down really heavy last night as it was rolling through. So here's what I'm going to be watching back out to our west here for the rest of the night into tomorrow morning. The potential is there that we see a complex of thunderstorms holding together long enough that it brings us some rain or thunderstorms for the morning commute tomorrow. This is fast forwarded all the way to 4:30 in the morning tomorrow. So if you have a commute that takes you out the door that early, at this point looks like it's still going to be pretty quiet. And as this line of storms works its way into the area, it does look like it kind of falls apart the further east it goes. But still, there's going to be that potential for some rainfall during that drive into work tomorrow. And then from there on, we still have an afternoon chance of rain, but the heat and humidity will be back out in full force, just like it is right now. So actually coming up in a few minutes, I'll show you where that heat index is sitting at the moment, and then I'll have more on these thunderstorms. And when finally some relief brings, when some thunderstorms finally bring some relief here before we get into the weekend coming up. Back to you. This is all going to be around for the next couple of days, at least through Friday at this point. So we've got a weather impact day Thursday and Friday with that potential. I'll show you the timeline for when you're most likely to run into that wet weather, plus the heat and humidity, how much longer that's going to be something we're dealing with coming up in a few. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back. Of us see it as you head off to work first thing in the morning. So outside right now, it's still quiet and dry, but it is incredibly hot and humid. Some of those heat indices are close to 100 degrees out there right now, so it is incredibly warm. What I'm watching for the overnight time frame will be developing back out to our west. Not necessarily what's back out towards central Illinois, possibly, but I do think there will be some development back behind that has the potential to bring us some rainfall here in those pre-dawn hours tomorrow morning and into the morning commute time frame, 6 to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Those temperatures, let's talk about them. 88 in Cincinnati right now. Factor in the humidity, it feels like 96 outside. Feels like 96 in Wilmington as well, Lunken Airport. 97 Batavia, you're up to 99, and it feels like 98 degrees in Hamilton so far, 10 degrees warmer than where that air temperature is sitting. So with that, of course, we could see an isolated shower or thunderstorm popping up here this afternoon or evening. But I think for the most part, many of us are just stuck with the heat and the humidity for the rest of today. Overnight, we'll start to see that complex of thunderstorms edging its way closer to the greater Cincinnati area, bringing us the chance for some rain first thing in the morning tomorrow. And then it's going to be another hot and steamy afternoon tomorrow, which could lend itself back to more isolated showers or thunderstorms developing tomorrow afternoon. I don't think it's a widespread concern, but still something that certainly could happen for your Thursday. Finally, we're looking at a little bit of a relief in sight with the heat and humidity, but that's going to come with a chance of some thunderstorms on Friday morning too. This is going to be our final round of storms as we head into the upcoming weekend. It's going to be a cold front that moves through, and that front does bring us some slightly drier air, even for the second half of the day Friday. I think you notice it if you're heading out to the Reds game Friday night. I think you'll notice it at the ballpark. I think you'll notice it if you're just out and about with friends, grabbing dinner, going on a walk, anything like that. It will be noticeable on Friday evening. Saturday too, it's going to get warm for sure, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be nearly as muggy as it is outside right now. You can see Futurecast kind of popped up a couple of showers or thunderstorms there this evening. That's a possibility, not something that I think many of us should bank on, but once we get to tomorrow morning, the further west you live, the better chance you have of seeing some rain. This is 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Some of those showers starting to edge their way in closer to the Cincinnati metro. We'll see that rain chance through about 8 o'clock. Once we get to the afternoon, there is going to be the potential for a few isolated showers or thunderstorms across the area. But really and truly, I think the big takeaway with tomorrow, other than that chance of rain, is going to be how hot and how humid it feels yet again. It's going to feel really sticky out there tomorrow with heat indices reaching into back close to the triple digits. I think we stop likely closer to about 99 where we are today, but still it's going to be really warm. So once we get to the ballpark on Friday night for Fireworks Friday, 79 for our temperature, no humidity out there. I think it's going to feel great. Saturday, topping out around 84, right around first pitch, 410. And then by Sunday, there is a chance to see some rainfall out there on Sunday. As we get into the second half of the day, rain chances start to go up. Some isolated showers look to be a possibility. And